You ever have one of those ideas, the kind that just grabs you and won't let go? A problem you see so clearly, you just know you could be the one to solve it. Well, that little spark, that's where every single entrepreneurial journey begins. And today, we're diving deep into what that path really looks like. But forget the boring business school talk about balance sheets. We're talking about a mindset, a mission, and honestly, the guts it takes to build something from nothing. So let's get this adventure started. And this quote from Tony Robbins, man, it just hits the nail on the head. This is really the heart of what we're talking about today. See, it's not about having $1 million in the bank or the perfect team right from day one. It's about being resourceful. It's about finding those clever, scrappy solutions when your back's against the wall and just making the most of every little thing you've got. That's the real magic, right? That's what separates a dreamer from a doer. So every great adventure story has a hero. And in our story, that hero is the entrepreneur. But what does that word even mean? I mean, we throw it around all the time. Before we really get into the weeds, let's figure out who our main character is.
Okay, now just look at the action words here. Starting, operating, identifying, taking on risk. That's the whole game right there. Entrepreneurship isn't some passive thing. It's not about just sitting on a brilliant idea. It's about the messy, active, and sometimes scary process of building something real out of it. It's about literally creating value where nothing existed before.
And get this, the word itself has a pretty cool backstory. Entrepreneur comes from the old French word entreprendre, which literally means to undertake. Just think about that for a second. To undertake something. It perfectly captures that spirit of taking on a huge task, a grand challenge, maybe even a crazy adventure. And that idea has been a part of our world for centuries. And you can see it throughout history, right? This spirit of undertaking something big has always been there. You had ancient traders risking it all on new sea routes. You had innovators during the Industrial Revolution building entire industries from scratch. And today, it's the tech founders in their garages and the social change makers who are totally reshaping our world. The tools change, the world changes, but that core human drive to build, to explore, and to create, that's always been the same. It's kind of fundamental to how we move forward. Okay, but let's get real for a second. No great adventure is a walk in the park, right? The entrepreneurial path is, well, it's famous for being incredibly risky. It's a road packed with uncertainty, and it takes some serious courage to even decide to step onto it. And this is the question, isn't it? This is what everyone wants to know. It's one thing to talk about the success stories, but what do the actual numbers say about just surviving? Let's take a hard look. So, data from the U.S. Small Business Administration paints a pretty stark picture. That first bar shows that about 1 in 5 new businesses don't even make it past their first year. And look at that second bar. By year 5, half of them are gone. And these aren't just statistics. Each one represents someone's dream, thousands of hours of work, and a whole lot of money. It's a tough, tough road. It's so important to go in with your eyes wide open. But, and this is a huge but, here's the other side of that coin. With that immense risk comes the potential for just incredible impact. The entrepreneurs who figure out how to navigate all those challenges, they don't just build companies, they literally shape our future. They solve the problems that bug us all and create the world we all want to live in. Now take a look at this number, 40%. Any guesses what that could be? It's a huge figure, and it says everything about the power of starting something new. That's right, in a lot of developed countries, these new ventures, startups, they're responsible for creating almost half of all new jobs. Think about that. So when an entrepreneur makes it, it's not just a win for them, it's a win for all of us. They are a massive engine for growth, for innovation, and for opportunity across the board. All right, so if you're going to take on this quest, you need the right gear, right? And I'm not talking about laptops and software. I'm talking about the internal stuff, the essential traits that pretty much every successful entrepreneur has to develop. And here it is, your essential entrepreneurial toolkit. Think of this as your character sheet for the adventure ahead. You need visionary thinking to see where you're going. You need resilience to take the hits. You need to be a calculated risk taker to make the smart plays. You need adaptability to deal with all the curveballs. And of course, you need that deep, burning passion to keep you going when things get tough. Let's zoom in on a couple of the really big ones. First up, visionary thinking. This is your map. It's the ability to look at the world right now and see what it could be. It's spotting those little gaps and opportunities that almost everyone else misses. I mean, think about how someone saw a world with empty spare rooms and thought, hey, global hospitality network. That's what we're talking about. It's having that clear destination in your mind, even if no one else gets it yet. Next up, resilience. And this one is crucial. Remember that chart with the failure rates? Yeah, this is your armor. Resilience is what lets you get knocked flat on your face by a setback and not just get back up, but get up stronger and smarter for it. It's about seeing failure not as the end of the road, but as like a really expensive, really valuable lesson. And finally, let's talk about adaptability, because I guarantee you the path you start on is never a perfectly straight line. The market will shift, your customers will change their minds, some new technology will come out of nowhere. Adaptability is your compass. It's that skill of being able to pivot, to change course when you need to, without ever losing sight of that big vision on the horizon. So you've got your toolkit. Now it's time to think about the destination. Because entrepreneurship isn't just one single thing. It's this huge, wide-open landscape with a bunch of different paths you can take. And the right one for you, that's going to depend entirely on your own goals and what you really care about. This chart breaks down the options really nicely. Are you the kind of person who wants to build a stable, profitable business that becomes a pillar of your local community? That's the traditional path. Or are you swinging for the fences, a high-risk, high-reward tech startup that could literally change how we all live? Or maybe what really gets you fired up is making a difference, a social enterprise where the real bottom line is the positive change you create. Look, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's all about what you want your story to be. And really, at the end of the day, it often boils down to this big choice. Is your main driver profit or is it impact? Now, of course, these two things aren't enemies. Actually, the best businesses find a way to make them work together. But you have to know what your core motivation is. Are you building an economic engine or an engine for change? Or, and this is the sweet spot, can you build both? Knowing the answer to that is everything. So, there you have it. We've looked at the heart of what it means to be an entrepreneur. We've seen that it's all about being resourceful. We've looked the risks right in the eye, but we've also seen the incredible impact on the other side. We've put together that essential toolkit: vision, resilience, adaptability, and we've explored the different destinations you can choose. So now, the only question left is the one right here. What journey will you undertake? Because the world is waiting to find out.